9. Chen Guangrui, going to his post, meets disaster. Monk River float, avenging his parents, repays his roots. We now tell you about the city of Chang'an in the great nation's Shanxi province, which was the place that kings and emperors from generation to generation had made their capital. Since the periods of Zhou, Qin, and Han, 3 counties of flowers bloomed like brocade, and 8 rivers flowed encircling the city. It was truly a land of great scenic beauty. At this time, the Emperor Taizong of the Great Tang Dynasty was on the throne, and the name of his reign was Zhenguan. He had been ruling now for 13 years, and the cyclical name of the year was Jisi. The whole land was at peace. People came bearing tributes from 8 directions, and the inhabitants of the whole world called themselves his subjects. One day Taizong ascended his throne and assembled his civil and military officials. After they had paid him homage, the Prime Minister Wei Zhang left the ranks and came forward to memorialize to the throne, saying, "Since the world now is at peace and tranquility reigns everywhere, we should follow the ancient custom and establish sites for civil examinations, so that we may invite worthy scholars to come here and select those talents who will best serve the work of administration and government. Our worthy subject has voiced a sound principle in his memorial," said Taizong. He therefore issued a summons to be proclaimed throughout the empire, in every prefecture, county, and town, those who were learned in the Confucian classics, who could write with ease and lucidity, and who had passed the 3 sessions of examination, regardless of whether they were soldiers or peasants, would be invited to go to Chang'an to take the imperial examination. This summons reached the place Haizhou, where it was seen by a certain man named Shine with the courtesy name of Guangrui, who then went straight home to talk to his mother, whose maiden name was Zheng. "The court," he said, "has sent a yellow summons, declaring in these southern provinces that there will be examinations for the selection of the worthy and the talented. Your child wishes to try out at such an examination, for if I manage to acquire an appointment, or even half a post, I would become more of a credit to my parents, magnify our name, give my wife a title, benefit my son, and bring glory to this house of ours. Such is the aspiration of your son. I wish to tell my mother plainly before I leave." "My son," said she of the Zhang family, "an educated person learns when he is young, but leaves when he is grown. You should indeed follow this maxim. But as you go to the examination, you must be careful on the way, and, when you have secured a post, come home quickly." So Guangrui gave instructions for his family page to pack his bags, took leave of his mother, and began his journey. When he reached Chang'an, the examination site had just been opened, and he went straight in. He took the preliminary tests, passed them, and went to the court examination, where in 3 sessions on administrative policy he took first place, receiving the title Zhuangyuan, the certificate of which was signed by the Tang Emperor's own hand. As was the custom, he was led through the streets on horseback for 3 days. The procession at one point passed by the house of the chief minister, Yin Kaishen, who had a daughter named Wen Jiao, nicknamed Mantang Jiao, a hall of loveliness. She was not yet married, and at this time she was just about to throw down an embroidered ball from high up on a festooned tower in order to select her spouse. It happened that Chen Guangrui was passing below the tower. When the young maiden saw Guangrui's outstanding appearance and knew that he was the recent Zhuang Yun of the examinations, she was very pleased. She threw down the embroidered ball, which just happened to hit the black gauze hat of Guangrui. Immediately, lively music of pipes and flutes could be heard throughout the area as scores of maids and serving girls ran down from the tower, took hold of the bridle of Guangrui's horse, and led him into the residence of the chief minister for the wedding. The chief minister and his wife at once came out of their chambers, called together the guests and the master of ceremonies, and gave the girl to Guangrui as his bride. Together, they bowed to heaven and earth. Then husband and wife bowed to each other, before bowing to the father and mother-in-law. The chief minister then gave a big banquet and everyone feasted merrily for a whole evening, after which the two of them walked hand in hand into the bridal chamber. At the 5th watch early next morning, Taizong took his seat in the treasure hall of Golden Chimes as civil and military officials attended the court. Taizong asked, "What appointment should the new Zhuang Yun receive?" The Prime Minister Wei Zheng said, "Your subject has discovered that within our territory there is a vacancy at Jiangzhou. I beg my lord to grant him this post." Taizong at once made him governor of Jiangzhou and ordered him to leave without delay. After thanking the emperor and leaving the court, Guangrui went back to the house of the chief minister to inform his wife. He took leave of his father and mother-in-law and proceeded with his wife to the new post at Jiangzhou. As they left Chang'an and went on their journey, the season was late spring. A soft wind blew to green the willows. A fine rain spotted to redden the flowers. As his home was on the way, Guangrui returned to his house where husband and wife bowed together to his mother, Lady Zhang. "Congratulations, my son," said she of the Zhang family. "You even came back with a wife. Your child," said Guangrui, "relied on the power of your blessing and was able to attain the undeserved honor of Zhuang Yun. By imperial command, I was making a tour of the streets when, as I passed by the mansion of Chief Minister Yin, I was hit by an embroidered ball. The Chief Minister kindly gave his daughter to your child to be his wife, and His Majesty appointed him governor of Jiangzhou. I have returned to take you with me to the post." She of the Zhang family was delighted and packed at once for the journey. They had been on the road for a few days when they came to stay at the Inn of 10,000 Flowers, kept by a certain Liu Xiaoer. She of the Zhang family suddenly became ill and said to Guangrui, "I don't feel well at all. Let's rest here for a day or two before we journey again." Guangrui obeyed. Next morning there was a man outside the inn holding a golden carp for sale, which Guangrui bought for a string of coins. He was about to have it cooked for his mother when he saw that the carp was blinking its eyes vigorously. In astonishment, Guangrui said, "I have heard that when a fish or a snake blinks its eyes in this manner, that's the sure sign that it's not an ordinary creature." He therefore asked the fisherman, "Where did you catch this fish?" "I caught it," said the fisherman, "from the river Hong, some 15 miles from this district." Accordingly, Guangrui sent the live fish back to the river and returned to the inn to tell his mother about it. "It is a good deed to release living creatures from captivity," said she of the Zhang family. "I am very pleased. We have stayed in this inn now for 3 days," said Guangrui. "The imperial command is an urgent one. Your child intends to leave tomorrow, but he would like to know whether mother has fully recovered." She of the Zhang family said, "I'm still not well, and the heat on the journey at this time of year, I fear, will only add to my illness. Why don't you rent a house for me to stay here temporarily, and leave me an allowance? The two of you can proceed to your new post. By autumn, when it's cool, you can come fetch me." Guangrui discussed the matter with his wife. They duly rented a house for her and left some cash with her, after which they took leave and left. They felt the fatigue of traveling, journeying by day and resting by night, and they soon came to the crossing of the Hong River where 2 boatmen, Liu Hong and Li Biao, took them into their boat. It happened that Guangrui was destined in his previous incarnation to meet this calamity, and so he had to come upon these fated enemies of his. After ordering the houseboy to put the luggage on the boat, Guangrui and his wife were just about to embark, when Liu Hong noticed the beauty of Lady Yin, who had a face like a full moon, eyes like autumnal water, a small, cherry-like mouth, and a tiny, willow-like waist. Her features were striking enough to sink fishes and drop wild geese, and her complexion would cause the moon to hide and put the flowers to shame. Stirred at once to cruelty, he plotted with Li Biao. Together they punted the boat to an isolated area and waited until the middle of the night. They killed the houseboy first, and then they beat Guangrui to death, pushing both bodies into the water. When the lady saw that they had killed her husband, she made a dive for the water, but Liu Hong threw his arms around her and caught her. "If you consent to my demand," he said, "everything will be all right. If you do not, this knife will cut you in two." Unable to think of any better plan, the lady had to give her consent for the time being and yielded herself to Liu Hong. The thief took the boat to the south bank, where he turned the boat over to the care of Li Biao. He himself put on Guangrui's cap and robe, took his credentials, and proceeded with the lady to the post at Jiangzhou. We should now tell you that the body of the houseboy killed by Liu Hong drifted away with the current. The body of Chen Guangrui, however, sank to the bottom of the water and stayed there. A yak on patrol at the mouth of the Hong River saw it and rushed into the Dragon Palace. The Dragon King was just holding court when the yak entered to report, saying,